Hello, crafty friends. Creative Juice by Lonnie here with you on Monday, ready to do some celebrating with Sale-a-Bration. It is Stampin' Up! Celebration in January and February, the best time of the crafting year because you get to choose free products. Today, I'm going to show you a couple of these free products, and we're going to be doing a cute, comforting card. I call it that because we're going to make a comforter. Do a little bit of stitching, a little bit of paper quilting. I have a mother-in-law who is an avid quilter. And one thing I've noticed is that we are very similar. We love to put pieces together, little pieces together, and stitch them into something beautiful. So that's what we're going to do today. Let me get us into the right place so that you can see my stamping surface. Here we are. Okay, so as mentioned, it is celebration time at Stampin' Up! There's a few fun things that are brand new. And as you're coming in, say hello. I'd love to see your comments. I see Carlene and Elaine. Hello, welcome, my dear friends and team members even. So I'm happy to have you here. Okay, so you've got, with every $50 that you purchase during January and February, you can choose a free product, such as paper, or stamps, or a bundle in this case. Today I'm going to be showing you a couple of different techniques using the Softly Sophisticated bundle, which is free with a $100 order. The nice thing about that is if you have not yet purchased a cut and emboss machine, you could get the cut and emboss machine and get these two things completely free. It's a fantastic deal. Or you could stock up on your paper, your adhesive, anything that you are low on in your craft room. Now, the Softly Stippled Designer Series paper, that's this one, is free with a $50 order. There are 12 sheets, 6 of each of these beautiful double-sided papers. And the colors that they coordinate with are Calypso Coral, Lost Lagoon, Pebbled Path, Pool Party, and Wild Wheat. You can see that those are just really gorgeous florals, kind of perfect for this dead season between fall and spring, aka winter. I think they're beautiful. And so this could be one that you choose with a $50 order. Now, if you did a $150 order, you could choose both of these. This technique that I'm going to show you will work with lots of your existing supplies. So don't worry, you can do this with lots of different supplies. All right, let me get started here, showing you the simple way and then a stepped up way. We're going to use those same colors, Wild Wheat, Calypso Coral, and Pebbled Path to do a little bit of stamping. Oh, and I just realized I didn't get out my card base. That's okay, we'll get one in just a moment. You need some Designer Series paper, and I've used this Softly Stippled Designer Series paper. You need a piece that is 2 and 3 by 3 1/4. You need 2 pieces that are 3/4 of an inch by 4 1/4, and 2 more pieces that are 3/4 by 3 7/8. This piece of cardstock is 5 1/4 inches by 4 inches wide. All right, we're going to make it a portrait card. I'm going to stamp on this little piece right here using the Softly Sophisticated stamps. We're going to stamp the leaves in Wild Wheat. There are actually 2 possibilities of floral designs in this stamp set. So I'm going to do the one that has the flowers that could kind of be roses. So I've stamped the leaves. This is a photopolymer stamp set, so you can see through it to line it up. With this one, there's a little tiny bud that goes into this space. So you want to line up that bud and then kind of turn your top flower towards the bud, and it lines up perfectly. Look at that. Lovely. Then we'll stamp a sentiment. This sentiment says, "You're in my thoughts." And I'm stamping this one in Pebbled Path on the bottom. So you've got your stamping done. That's all the stamping we have to do. I'm going to clean up. because I'm usually a very messy person. In fact, how big is your space right now that you can craft on? Do you have more than a 12-inch square spot that you can stamp on? I have this beautiful glass mat that kind of saves me a space to stamp. Everything else around me is piled high. Okay, but I am getting better at cleaning up. What did I do with my adhesive? Oh, I see the empty adhesive. Oh, here it is, over here. We're going to put these all together now. So I'm going to, first of all, adhere all of my pieces around the edge. So I'm going to turn them over and get the adhesive on the right side, on the correct side, I should say, because there's not a right or left or right and wrong piece of this designer series paper. Okay, so we're going to put it in. In fact, I'm going to put this one over here. I'm going to just kind of line this up about 1/8 of an inch all the way around my paper. You can kind of see how this is going to work. That looks like, luckily, Stamp and Seal is easy to, oop, I say that and then it came off. It's all right. I need a little extra space there. Okay, so it doesn't matter because we're going to fix this all in just a minute. So I'm going to line up the bottom here and then try to keep that same space along that side so that this is the same here. This is going to be the same distance on this side. Ooh, somehow I think I cut that wrong. Did I cut that? Apparently I did cut this one wrong. Interesting. We're just going to trim that right off. I'm pretty sure I cut it to 4 1/4, did I not? Okay, so let's make that 4 inches instead of 4 1/4 that you want to cut it to. And I thought I was doing so very well, but you know what? It's an easy fix. It's a lot easier to cut a piece of paper than to stretch a piece of paper. Okay. And that one is also going to have to be 4. So it's going to be 4 inches. Take note. 4 inches by 3/4 inches. Yep, that one's got to come just a little bit down, a little bit down, a little bit down. Okay, there we go. Oh, there we go. Now we're looking better. 4 inches by, so that one is going to be 4. We're going to fix that so you can see it. Maybe. Nope. Yep. Back. Okay. So this one is 3 3/4 just by 4 inches. Okay, much better. It fits better. I was probably thinking about something else, So let's glue that piece in the center. And it's going to be right there with just a little bit of things all around it. Okay, now we're going to take the bundle, the Softly Sophisticated bundle, has both stamps and the 3D embossing folder. I love the pattern on this because it really does look like stitches. So I want my stitches to go down into my card. So I'm going to find the bumpy side, and that bumpy side is going to push down into the card. So I'm going to turn it over like this. There we go. And then pull in my cut and emboss machine. It's a beautiful day for doing a little crafting. It's overcast here in southern Utah. So it just feels like a good day to do some crafting. When you are embossing with the 3D, you want to make sure that you're using just the base plate for your cut and emboss machine and the gray embossing plate on top. Okay. Bring it on over here. We're going to use that again in a minute. Okay, so look how fun this embossing is. So on this side, it's got the raised side, which sometimes I do like to do the raised side. But for the quilted look, I wanted it to go down into the paper. So it looks like we've just quilted it right along there like that. So when you're done, this one I will just use because I don't have my, well, I'll grab my white card base and show you the next one. I think I have one already cut. That made it handy. Cut and scored, so we're ready to go. So there's two different styles right there. Well, now one thing, if you are using your Stamp and Seal, especially Stamp and Seal Plus, on the back of the item that you've just embossed, go very slowly so that the paper, because it has been weakened, so the paper won't separate or come off onto your adhesive. You always want to put your adhesive on the smaller piece. So I put it onto, not onto my card base, but onto the card piece that I was adding to the front. So can you see that beautiful stitched texture on the front of that? Oh, I just love that. This one I actually did with the stitches coming up. So it is a raised surface, really beautiful either direction. So that one is just a simple way to use up some of your paper. Let's do a different version of this. And we are going to do this time, I am using the Countryside Inn Designer Series paper like this. And this is, the colors are Boho Blue, Night of Navy, Misty Moonlight, and Balmy Blue. So what I've done is I took 6 pieces, I took one of each of these pieces, and I cut a 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 piece of each one of them. And then I used the Patchwork Pieces dies. I used this one today and cut out all 6 of them. So I ended up with a stack like this. And you want, when you're putting them out, or when you're laying them out, you may want to keep them in the right order. But see, I've got all those little pieces like this. It doesn't really matter because these pieces and these pieces match and vice versa. So they are really easy to put together. So I've cut them all out and moving the things aside that we don't need. I'm going to bring in this one. Okay, so I have a 3 1/2, and I did not write this one down. I should have written this one down for you, but I can write it right here for you. The nice thing about having a grid underneath you is you can also check to make sure you're giving the right the right dimensions. So the piece of paper that I'm putting it onto, the cardstock, is 3 1/2 by 5 inches. And the easiest way to do it, sometimes I would have said to go ahead and put some adhesive sheets on the back. But in this case, I don't want you to put adhesive sheets on the back. It actually makes it a little more difficult to put together. So I'm going to use my green liquid glue. Okay, come on, I had you upside down for a reason. To put all of these pieces together. So trying to turn them over and remember how they go. That's going to be the trick. This one goes here. You kind of want to get to the edges. One of the good things about embossing this through our embossing machine after we're done is that it really does help to keep all of these pieces together. Okay, that one's going to go next. I'm getting them all glued up here so that they're just easy to piece together like a quilt. Okay, I'm going to start in the top left-hand corner right here. And I know there's just about that much. I like green glue because it can kind of wiggle for a minute while you're putting it together. I think that's going to be pretty darn close. The next piece. The next piece. Oops. He wants his turn now. Okay, we'll take him and put him right down here. There we go. Oh, shoot. Darn the luck. Darn the luck. Let's see, this one goes here. Oh, good. That one still kind of wiggles for me, so it kind of moves down where I want it to be. there's half of our card made. Because there's 6 pieces of designer series paper, and in this little sunburst, there's 6 pieces on each half. So you're going to use the front half on one side and the back half on the other side. The stitches around the edge show through. It has little stitches in the die itself, so it looks like you've stitched them all together. Okay, got to remember where these two go. Let's see, is it going to go like this? Yep, there's my, I love this little fox peeking out on the top of that piece of fabric, aka paper. Let's see how I had it put up. Just make sure I'm doing it right. Looks like it's going to work. Is that going to work? Let's see if we can trade this one, yeah, over here, and this one over here. Yep, that's going to be better. Okay. Are you quilters as well as paper crafters? Have you ever quilted? I like to go and help my mother-in-law, but have not invested time or energy yet into it because she is such a prolific quilter. I wanted to make sure I'm doing that one right before I put it on. But I do remember lots of times spending time under the, okay, glue on my glass mat is not a hard problem to fix. So we'll just move it over and remember not to get my paper into that the wrong way. Okay, we're almost done. So pretty. And you don't have to have the softly sophisticated embossing folder for this to work. I will show you in just a moment some other options that you could use for this quilted technique. Okay, all the pieces are on there, ready to go. We'll move our glue aside. That was for our other card. And bring back our cut and emboss machine. There we go. This time I'm going to use, and I think I'm going to still use the softly sophisticated one. I'll show you the other ones that I've already done with other embossing folders. So again, I want that to go upside down in my folder. Put it on your base plate, nothing else. The gray plate goes on top. Okay. Now, you are welcome to put whatever sentiment you want on this card. I just happened to love one of them from the Crafting with You because we're sending some love. And I like the saying that a card is a hug with a fold in the middle. Oh, apparently my husband's going to be printing something. So there's the embossed quilted top. So what we're going to do was to make this into a card is take a piece of, let me show you before I do that. I was going to show you. Well, no, I'll show you that in just a second. Sorry. You have to wait till I'm ready. Okay, we're going to make this into a gatefold card. So for a gatefold card, and since I have another top that I have to finish, I'm going to make making 2 quilts cards. And I'm going to score one whole piece of cardstock so I can have 2 cards at the same time. So there, we're going to do it 2 1/8 inch. We're going to score with our light blade, then turn it around and do 2 1/8 inch on the other side. There we go. Then you can turn it 90 degrees, cut it in half at 5 1/2, and you have 2 gatefold cards ready to go. Okay. A gatefold simply means that you bring both sides into the front. I use my bone folder to get a nice crisp. Oops, that was weird. Nice crisp fold. Somehow, how did I do this? How did it? I don't know how long that's been that way, but here we are. Here we go. This is the right way to do it. So now you can see it. You don't have to see me. You can see the card. So guess I should be paying attention. By the way, since I'm letting you know that this celebration goes through the end of January, so I want my little fox to be face up. So we're going to just glue this to half of the front flap, the left side. So I'm going to put a lot of adhesive on just the left half like that. To finish it off, we're going to put a little piece on the inside so you can write on it. And it even says with love. And I'm going to use, so there's the inside of our card, ready to go. We just need something on the front, and we're sending them a handmade hug. This sentiment comes from the crafting with you, sending you a handmade hug. It feels like both little arms are just opening up to give them a hug. So this would be great for just thinking of you or a sympathy card. What I'm going to use, if I haven't covered it up, is right here, my heartfelt hexagon punch. So we'll punch out a piece of boho blue and stamp with Misty Moonlight, our sentiment, and then adhere it with some dimensionals. This happens to fit perfectly on the front of this quilted sunburst. So turning it right side up, put it right there, sending you a handmade hug. And there is our quilted finished card with love. There you go. What do you think? Oh yes, did I say it's through the end of January, Anne? It's a good thing you're keeping me on track. Celebration goes through the end of February, but you want to order before the end of January so you can order now and in February and get some free things. So that cute little embossing folder. Let me show you some of the other ones. This embossing folder is our 3D, one of the basics embossing folders. They come in a trio pack. So they have polka dots and a crosshatch pattern, and then this pretty floral pattern. And look how pretty that is. I'll show you the back side too. So pretty. And that one looks kind of like a puffy quilt when you do it just right. So there's your basics 3D embossing folder on that one. This one was our softly sophisticated, so it has a little different texture. Here it is on the back. And then finally, I had to try, and I haven't finished this card yet because I wanted to show you. I had to try this new one that's called Layered Florals. Look at this gorgeous, beautiful one that's available online, of course, in my stamping store, as well as in the January-April mini catalog. And it kind of turned out pretty fun. It's got this big floral design on it. Look how pretty it is on the back. This is the debossed section, but it's just beautiful. So I'm going to finish up that one too as I'm cleaning up today. But that's the Layered Florals 3D embossing folder, which of course you're going to be seeing more of that. I can guarantee it because it's beautiful. So those are the 3 quilted type sunburst ones using our designer series paper. And here is actually I like this one better. This one it's easier to read with the darker sentiment. So here's the one that we just did using strips of paper that you don't even have to die cut, but you do need to emboss. So there you go. There's all of your fun quilted cards. You can just send a little comforting message. You're in my thoughts, sending you a handmade hug. We did a lot today. We did a lot of crafting. I'm glad that you like them. Thank you so much. We'll be back next Monday, but again, do not miss the opportunity to order your supplies this month and get something free from Sale-a-Bration, and then come back again next month and order again at creativejuicebylani.com. All of these items, all of these projects will be on my blog later this afternoon, including shoppable links. So that will make it really easy as well. Thank you for your support, and thank you for creating beautiful things and sending some handmade hugs in the mail to those who need it. I'll talk to you next week.